The film opens by showcasing Muyang High School, which has received an award for 2 consecutive years for its anti-bullying efforts. With this award, the school should be considered a safe place for students to study. However, the reality turns out to be the opposite. In the school, there's a student named Hun Sugum who frequently bullies a weaker student named Go Jinyang. Hun and his friends openly bully Jinyang without fear because Hun comes from an influential and respected family within the school. Due to this, the bullying case is never addressed by the school authorities. Even the teachers and the principal seem to pretend not to be aware of it. The scene then shifts to a beautiful intern teacher named Shou Shimin. Miss Shou is currently in her 3-month internship period and is putting in a lot of effort to become a permanent teacher at Muyang High School. While trying to relieve stress in the restroom, Miss Shou overhears Miss Lee and another teacher gossiping about intern teacher Yu, who committed suicide because of Hun's actions. Miss Shou is shocked to hear this, but pretends not to know anything in front of the other teachers. Out of pity, Miss Lee informs Miss Shou about the bullying case in the school. She warns Miss Shou to be careful with Hun and advise her that if she wants to become a permanent teacher at Muyang High School, she should pretend not to know about the bullying case and ignore it. As for Jinyang's bullying case, it started when Jinyang's grandmother, who sells kimbap in front of the school, was harassed by Hun and his friends. Jinyang, not accepting this, tried to protect his grandmother, but it only made him a target for Hun's bullying along with his friends until today. With a background as a boxing athlete, Miss Shou holds back stress and pressure during her time at the school and channels her emotions by training with her friend Quan, who works as a police officer. The next day, Miss Shou is shocked to witness Hun's bullying actions directly. She witnesses the incident with another student named Byung Jin, but Byung Jin warns Miss Shou not to get involved. Initially, Miss Shou intended to ignore the incident. However, her sense of justice rebels against her, so when Hun is about to kick Jinyang's face, Miss Shou takes immediate action. Fortunately, Miss Shou's acting, pretending to pass by, goes unnoticed by Hun. So, for now, Miss Shou successfully saves Jinyang and instructs him to quickly return to the classroom. The next day, Miss Shou invites Jinyang for a one-on-one conversation. Miss Shou tries to find a way out for Jinyang's problem. However, the influence of Hun's family is too strong, so all of Jinyang's efforts to seek justice have been in vain. In this situation, Miss Shou doesn't know what to do to help Jinyang. Currently, she is just an intern teacher, and getting involved in the issue could jeopardize her dream of becoming a permanent teacher. However, no matter how hard Miss Shou restrains herself, she cannot ignore the bullying case. As a result, that night, Miss Shou reports the bullying case at Muyang High School to the Department of Education for legal investigation. Unexpectedly, Miss Shou's action causes a major uproar in the school the very next day. Hun's mother comes with her lawyer, trying to find out which teacher made the report to the Department of Education. Feeling pressured, Miss Shou eventually admits and kneels while apologizing to Hun's mother. Fortunately, this time, Miss Shou is not fired from her job because Hun intentionally wanted to teach Miss Shou a lesson first. Consequently, Hun and his friends' bullying targets increase by 1 person. Miss Shou, who was eating at the mini market, was approached by Hun and his friends, who behaved rudely towards her. Adding to that, Miss Shou also encounters a drunkard who acts aggressively towards her. With emotions reaching a boiling point, Miss Shou, who can't take it anymore, finally reveals her true self. As a result, Miss Shou now has the determination to teach Hun a lesson, even if she has to conceal her identity with a cat mask so that no one recognizes her. With her cat mask and a disguise as a man, Miss Shou approaches Hun and his friends, then demonstrates her boxing skills. Her action successfully defeats Hun, leaving him battered and bruised. Fortunately, before the fight could escalate, the police suddenly arrive, prompting them all to leave the scene. From a distance, Byung Jin sees Miss Shou removing the mask, and he smiles, admiring his teacher. The news of the fight went viral and became the talk of the school. Many people felt satisfied seeing what Hun experienced because finally, someone could teach him a lesson. Of course, Miss Shou pretends to be ignorant and unaware of anything, but deep down, she feels very satisfied. Hun is genuinely furious and unwilling to accept being defeated by the cat-masked individual. He channels his anger by bullying Jin-young even worse. Hun instructs Jin-young to buy fried chicken and write his order on Jin-young's body. Byung-jin, who happens to work at the fried chicken shop, immediately reports to Miss Cho and asks for her help to assist Jin-young. In short, Miss Cho eventually arrives at the location of Hun and his friends. A fierce battle between them is inevitable. Until suddenly, Jin-young arrives with a knife, intending to stab Hun. So, Miss Cho stops the knife with her hand to prevent Jin-young from getting involved in any legal trouble. Right at that moment, the owner of the fried chicken shop intervenes, and Miss Cho seizes the opportunity to escape. Injured, Miss Cho is then taken to the hospital by Kwon and Miss Cho's father. Upon seeing his injured daughter, Miss Cho's father is furious. So, he confronts Hun wearing a cat mask. However, Miss Cho's father is unable to defeat Hun and ends up with a battered face. On the way home, Miss Cho's father apologizes to Miss Cho for their strained relationship, since Miss Cho lost in the final selection for the national boxing team. Unbeknownst to him, her defeat was due to Miss Cho accepting money from the opposing side to help her father's financial situation because their house was threatened with eviction. Although her dream had to be buried because of it, Miss Cho never regretted her decision. The next day, Hun immediately seeks the identity of the cat mask person by inspecting the hands of each student. He is convinced that the person behind the cat mask currently has a wounded hand due to a knife scratch. During the search process, Hun accidentally observes Miss Cho behaving similarly to the cat mask person. Additionally, her hand seems to be in pain too. After learning this, Hun immediately confronts Miss Cho and proves his suspicion. Upon confirming the true identity of the cat mask person, Hun challenges Miss Cho to a duel in the school festival ring a few days later. Initially, Miss Cho is reluctant to accept Hun's challenge. Once again, she wants to restrain herself until she becomes a permanent teacher at Muyang High School. However, when she sees the transfer letter sent by Jin-young, Miss Cho goes straight to Jin-young's house. Miss Cho's heart empathizes with the pain Jin-young is experiencing. Even at that moment, Jin-young contemplates suicide. Fortunately, Miss Cho arrives at the right time and foils Jin-young's plan. Miss Cho promises to uphold justice for Jin-young and vows to make Hun pay for all his actions. Long story short, the school festival day has finally arrived. On this special day, Byung-jin distributes several cat masks to the students to show his support for Miss Cho. Little did anyone know, Byung-jin has always sided with Jin-young and Miss Cho because he once experienced Jin-young's current situation. Because of that, Byung-jin also feels guilty towards Jin-young. Afterward, the boxing match between Hun and Miss Cho finally begins. At the beginning of the match, Miss Cho suffers a significant defeat, taking numerous punches until her long hair is accidentally revealed. Miss Cho's father and the supporters watching the match feel sorry for her as she continues to take punches. However, upon seeing Jin-young, Miss Cho's spirit is reignited, allowing her to counterattack Hun. Even after that, Miss Cho daringly removes her mask in front of everyone, risking her career. Everyone is shocked and silent when they see that the person behind the cat mask is indeed Miss Cho, the interim teacher. Despite this, Miss Cho continues to receive shouts of support from many people, making her more determined to beat Hun. The school principal, witnessing the scene, tells them to end the match, but Hun refuses and insists on continuing. Delighted, Miss Cho agrees to keep the match going. Hun then delivers one final blow, which Miss Cho immediately counterattacks. The match ends with Miss Cho kicking Hun out of the ring, making him kneel in front of Jin-young. Even in that situation, Hun still refuses to apologize to Jin-young, and Jin-young doesn't need an apology from Hun. As Jin-young leaves, Hun rises again and intends to attack Miss Cho from behind, but his attack is successfully thwarted by Miss Cho. After the incident, Jin-young officially reports Hun's actions, supported by video evidence provided by one of Hun's friends. Thanks to this, the police immediately arrest Hun and declare him a suspect. Meanwhile, Miss Cho resigns from Muyang High School and opens a boxing and sports training center for mothers. Until one day, she receives an internship offer from a new school where there is a bullying student. Surprisingly, the school is led by Miss Lee as the principal, and she intentionally recruits Miss Cho to teach at the school. And thus, the movie comes to an end. So, what do you think of this school bullying themed movie? Did you enjoy the recap? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. One like and subscribe is highly appreciated. Share this video to your friends and family too. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.